Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. My name is John.
My name is Lester.
And we are back because we
are
got
back.
more good stuff for you.
Yes. In fact, today is a really tiring day for both John and I.
Yeah, boy. As you can see from my wet hair, I just came back.
Yes. So we decided that, we should chillax a little bit for this episode, and we have been doing a few more serious episodes. So here is our mandatory once a month screwing around episode. So we decided to react to NUSWhispers because we've already done NTU confessions and it's time to spread the love to other universities as well. So
Yeah, boy.
I have actually shortlisted a few NUSWhispers posts that I have not discussed with John. This is the first time in a long time that we haven't discussed.
Because I just came back, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna get
this is actually all planned. This is actually all planned. What? We don't do things at random.
Yeah, we all plan. We always sit down and we talk at least 30 to 45 minutes before we actually shoot an episode. And this is the first time we're just this is the first time we're just you know what? Never mind. We both tired as hell. We just want to get this done in 30 minutes time. So let's jump right into it.
We tired as hell, but we still love you. So
yes,
give us that like.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram. Warm cockles for everyone.
Yes, at IMO.pod.
Let's get into it.
Yes. Okay, so the first one I have right now is quite a juicy one. They're both
juicy.
Love confessions from what I've managed to
okay. I love love.
You do. We both love. So this
Yes.
one, okay, so basically she said, this is a girl. I've been with my boyfriend for about half a year only, and I'm already starting to lose interest in him. He's a good person and good boyfriend, but I don't feel physically attracted to him. I'm trying my best to look past his looks, but I somehow can't, and I feel bad about it. I'm like an 8 while he's a 4. I know many will say I don't deserve him as I'm shallow, but no matter how I try, I'm just not that attracted. However, I do want to salvage this relationship as he is a good guy. Should I tell him what I'm feeling, and if so, how? Also, what can I do to look past his appearance?
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is quite a tough one.
I think it's quite an interesting topic as well, right? Because I think John and I have actually talked to a few of our friends before, and one of the topics that always come up is should looks matter when you're finding a partner, and how much does it matter? So John, personally, how much does it matter to you, looks?
Okay, personally, right, it does not matter that much to me. It's not one of my deal makers or breakers lah.
Okay. Yeah.
In fact, I think for appearance wise, if you're pleasant looking enough for me to be attracted to you, which you don't need to be super pleasant looking. Not saying anything, but yeah, it is definitely not a deal maker or deal breaker to me, because if I'm attracted to you, you will always look attractive to me lah. But I get where this person is coming from, and I mean, before Alistair read finish, I was about to give my default answer.
I know, which is
this is toxic as shit, so break up. But okay, clearly this is a good person with good intentions who identifies a problem with himself. So I think the thing about it is that it is truly difficult because this person still values the relationship and knows that there are other things in the relationship that is worth keeping, and does not want to break a relationship because of a shallow reason. So kudos to you for identifying this.
Yeah.
But I think because of this, right, it has sort of how to say, surfaced a hidden side of yourself that you never knew was important to you. And that is to have physical attraction with this particular partner, with your partner, whoever he or she may be.
Yeah.
So it's difficult that you will discover this now after acquiring a partner.
Yeah.
But my advice will be to really, unfortunately, be blunt and have that conversation with your current partner. Because like you said, right, you want to salvage the situation, you want to keep the relationship. A relationship is a two-person thing lah.
Yes,
you cannot save a relationship just by yourself.
I agree. That's very important.
Yeah. So and then appearance can always be subjective. Like, what if your partner cleans up well?
Dresses up more, etc.
Yeah, that could boost his appearance and stuff like that, right? And it's only when you have this kind of open conversations with him or her, with the intention for growth, that y'all can progress lah.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I know it's very touchy because when it comes to people's appearance, it's not something that it's not a topic that's easy to broach. But if you really truly do value this relationship with his person, right, with this particular person, but the only problem is something to do with appearance, then you definitely must have a conversation about it, because as compared to the relationship, is very much smaller. And if, let's say, after this talk, you discover that this is something that he is deeply hurt by and he cannot have a relationship with you because of that, right?
Yeah.
That is also something you have to accept and live with. Because if not, right, the other thing that you accept and live with is that you are not physically attracted. Both are miserable. Both are miserable situations, except one has an end, the other one does not.
Yeah. I mean, like, it must suck for the guy as well, right? If you tell him, like, hey, I have this thing that I'm not really attracted to your looks personally, like, I don't have a lot of physical attraction towards you. It's not something that a guy can, like, maybe he can do a little bit if, like,
It's not something that anyone can
do anything about, right?
stomach.
Like, if someone say you're ugly, what can you do? I mean, you can do, like, makeup and you can, like, dress nicer. But, like, ultimately, if someone says you're ugly, you're kind of ugly in their eyes. It kind
you have to adjust. Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing much you can do. So it's really, I think it's a very, very tough position. But I do agree with John that said when he said that, like, I think any problem with a relationship or love, right, you guys have to talk it through and communicate. Whether or not, like, that will end up solving the issue or will, like, expose it more as a problem, right? It shouldn't matter, because the only way it can progress to a solution, whether it's a good or bad solution, is for you to talk about it. So the solution might be to break up. That is a solution, because it technically is solving a problem. But the only way you can get to that, any solution, is to talk about it. And if you just bottle it up, it's not going to do you any favors lah.
I know it feels like it definitely does feel like an impasse, because on the one hand, you will hurt people's feelings, but on the other hand, you have to deal with your own personal dissatisfaction. Both are there's no good answer.
There's no easy way to
this situation.
Yeah,
there's no good answer out of this situation. But that being said, right, there is also the lesser of two evils. One is to let yourself be miserable and never communicate. The second is to actually speak to your partner, and who knows, maybe he is open, and who knows, he actually cleans up well, and who knows, suddenly you reignite a certain attraction for each other again. Because clearly, if you mentioned that physical attraction was not what drawn you to him, maybe having that conversation with him will change your perspective, so that you rediscover what was it that got you all together in the first place, and maybe that's a stronger bond. Maybe you may acquire that nirvana where looks don't matter. Who knows?
That's the ideal state, right? Like, looks shouldn't matter. But I do think that whoever posted this, I don't think you should feel bad.
I don't think they're wrong lah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be feeling bad for wanting a physical attraction, or at least wanting to feel like you're attracted to this person's looks, because that's a very integral part of a relationship, right? It's like physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. So it's not just that you're able to connect with him and click with him, which is very important. You should also be able to, I guess, get physically intimate, and that's very difficult if you don't have, like, physical attraction to the person in the first place. So I don't think it's a problem per se. I don't think it's like a thing that you should, like, go to hell for or like get scolded for. I don't think it's that bad. But from what we hear from this confession, it looks like you really, really like him as a person. So you really want to be able to look past this, and the way to do that is to talk about it. And that's the only way out.
Sort out the incompatibility lah.
Yeah.
And if it cannot be sorted out, then accept that you are incompatible lah. And when you accept that you're incompatible, what do? Just
break up and move on.
Break up and move on, correct.
Yeah, I mean, this is a theme that, like, most of our IMO episodes have. It's just like, if something doesn't work out, then just, move on. There's always someone.
No lah, I guess the overarching theme, okay, it's not that asking you to like, oh no, something doesn't work, run away. No. What we're trying to say is that know when something is beyond fixing. And don't be afraid to make that difficult decision when something is beyond fixing.
I agree. But I mean, obviously try your best, communicate, do your due diligence. But if after that it doesn't work out, it's neither party's fault. It's just how it is. It be like that sometimes. That's life.
It do be like that sometimes.
It really do be like that sometimes. And in fact, on that very depressing note, we're going to go on to the next one, which I feel like is even more depressing. It's also another relationship thing. And it's something that I personally related to. That's why I want to bring it up. But it's it's rather dark lah. So basically they said, this guy, TLDR is that this guy, his girlfriend wanted to take a break from their relationship. So they wanted a time off. And he says that like, he, even though she's like not exactly the type to do so it's kind of like out of the blue. But he said that it actually came from an argument that they got into due to a misunderstanding. And here I quote him, "On that same day, I was going through a mental breakdown and attempted suicide during the day. Feeling overwhelmed and angry, I resorted to using Tinder. I only used the app.
Using Tinder.
Okay. I only used the app for a day, but felt really guilty and confessed to my girlfriend. This is what led to all the tears, anger, and eventually the break. I am so tempted every second of the day to call and text her, but I know I shouldn't. I'm going crazy. What should I do?" So, I personally related to this because like, mainly because of the mental breakdown and attempted suicide thing. And just, it got me into the whole like topic about like, how do you love someone who is mentally ill or like love someone who is like very emotional? So, I mean, John, do you have any like experience or?
Okay. I'm just gonna put it out there that like, firstly, right, it's important to acknowledge that what your partner is doing and that is being in a relationship with someone like you is actually something that is not the easiest.
It's really not. Yeah, I agree.
Correct?
Yeah.
So, as a result of that, right, you must understand why your partner is reacting the way he or she is. Right? Because she got into a not so easy relationship with someone, did her best to stay loyal.
Yeah.
But in her eyes, what you did was essentially
it's
emotional
like
cheating.
Yeah.
So as much as I would like to give you a quick and easy solution, there isn't one. Okay? There really isn't one.
Yes.
You have to admit that right now what you're experiencing is the consequence of your actions. Whether motivated by a mental illness or not. And this is the cruelest part to hear lah, because from what you're saying, I mean, if it's true, I sympathize with you, but the action, you must isolate the action from the illness bit also. The action as far as the receiving party is concerned, right, is something that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
And for someone who is clearly not mentally ill, who don't know the predicament, right, it appears to be something that is inexcusable also.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't expect them to understand, right? Like, you can't expect them to fully understand what you're going through.
And on that vein, you also cannot expect them to immediately forgive.
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, you must see from her point of view.
Yeah.
That right now it looks like a betrayal, and it looks like the whatever, is an excuse.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you ask me, like, I'm trying my best to give you the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah.
But there are still some parts that feels like a fuck up that is on your part.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So firstly, kudos on being brave to admit to her. That's always much better than having her find out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as much as it drives you crazy that she's doing this to you now, right? Please try to remember that this lady is also a person. So this person will need time to recover from something like that.
I mean, I have anxiety for people who don't know, the new people who are just watching these episodes. Loving someone with a mental illness is never easy. like it's extremely difficult. And I kind of understand his point of view because like I'm sure he feels terrible and I'm sure he feels bad that and he probably feels like a burden as well, right? Like it feels like this person is trying to care for you, but all you do is like mess it up and you cannot fully understand where you're coming from or why you do certain things out of like I guess folly or emotional in a wrong emotional state. But on the other hand, on the end of your partner, it's also very difficult to understand, right? You can't expect them to understand what being anxious is like if they don't have anxiety. You can't expect them to understand what being depressed is like or wanting to commit suicide is like. And it's a good thing that they don't understand because it sucks to be able to understand how that is like lah. And it's rough on both ends. And it's just I don't have a clear answer as well. In fact, like my second relationship ended pretty badly. And part of like my trauma, no, I won't say trauma, but like a part of a problem that I carry over from that relationship to my future relationships was that insecurity that I had anxiety and the insecurity that like I might become too much for someone. So it's rough, man. It's not easy to be mentally ill and
it's
and
definitely
attached.
rough, but at the same time I think like what is brought up here is a very clear relationship dynamic that needs to be worked on, because you see the way she reacted is not immediate death sentence, right? Immediate termination of the relationship. So there is still some hopes of salvaging this.
Yes.
But definitely not by prodding her to forgive you immediately.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Because that will show her that you clearly lack the understanding of what she's going through. Because you see, it's very easy to have our judgment clouded by whatever. It can be anything, right? It can be a cold shoulder. It can be, like you mentioned earlier, mental illness. It could be a whole bunch of things. And we already let it cloud our judgment once to do something wrong. We don't want to do something with clouded judgment again.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to let your emotions dictate your every action.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yes.
At least retain that little bit of control in your life, right? So recognize in yourself that you did something wrong, but also recognize in your partner that your partner taking a break is her way of recovery.
Yeah.
But but I'm gonna be frank with whoever wrote this. Not everyone recovers from this. This.
Yeah.
It's like how maybe you might relate better to this. Not everyone recovers from mental illness. Not everyone recovers from this kind of emotional trauma.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared to face the consequence of your actions. And that would mean to say, be prepared to lose this person as a partner. That being said, there are also ways to seek help if, let's say, you are facing this impasse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know for a fact right now in wherever you are right now, in whatever headspace you are right now. First things first, your girlfriend might leave you.
Yeah.
Second thing you know is that you have depressive episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's high time you find a therapist.
If
high
you
time
haven't,
you find a professional to talk to, and let the professional be the one that counsels you on what to do next.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Even if, let's say we talk about the worst case scenario where you all break up, no chance to reconcile, instead of trying to run yourself ragged, trying to work things on your own, at least you have a therapist to talk to and to heal with. Because right now, I'm going to put it frank, you confirm have to face some consequence for your action.
I agree.
I applaud your integrity, but integrity does not undo a wrong action.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough, right? Like as I said, like I understand fully where he's coming from. I don't agree with what you did personally. I wouldn't have done that, but I understand that when your emotion is being when your emotion clouds your judgment, that's just how it is. And when you're in that headspace, it's tough to, I guess, fully control yourself and think properly. I do want to say that like a lot of people say if you have a mental illness you shouldn't get attached, and I don't agree with the statement simply because I believe in being able to grow in a relationship with someone. So if your partner pushes you to be better and helps you along that route, you should be in a relationship. If there's a healthy relationship that will definitely help you, and that will definitely relieve some stress off your load lah. But at the same time, like it shouldn't be your partner's not a therapist. Like this is how it is, right? Like your partner cannot give you professional help, and it's very difficult for your partner to detach like a therapist can. Correct? Like
absolutely.
It's very difficult for your partner to not see you as a partner and see you as like just another, I guess, mental illness patient. But your therapist can, and that is what your therapist is for. So I do think that is for people who are mentally ill, it's a bit hard to not grow attached and like over reliant on your partner, but it is quite important to do so.
Yeah, you must not forget that your partner is like what Esther mentioned. It's not your caretaker.
She's not.
She's your partner.
I agree. And I mean, when things like this happen, like I mean, it's a bit unfortunate that breakups happen. And I've actually went through one breakup while I was going through my whole mental illness episode things. So I was glad that as I was going through that breakup, I was already seeking help, and so I had the chance to go and talk to my therapist about it, and I have friends around me as well. So I know now it might seem like your relationship is all that matters and it's like the biggest thing in the world, and I fully understand. But at the end of the day, you have to understand also that your mental health is also very important, and her mental health is very important as well. And if it does you guys both good to take a break and / break up, then you should be able to accept that as a good option for the betterment of both of you. Because the mental health is the most important. It doesn't matter like this. At the end of the day, if you're not mentally sound or if you're not happy, all this will come crumbling down, because being happy is the foundation of everything, especially for relationship. So yes. Tough. I mean, I personally don't have the answer to being mentally ill and in a relationship because I am still trying to figure it out as well. And my partners I'm pretty sure my past partners or whatever had a tough time trying to deal with my episodes. But
I mean, I already have I never deal with his episodes. I have a tough time dealing with normal him.
But yes, it's tough. It's not easy, but I do believe that if you both take an effort to improve each other, like on their end, if they take the effort to listen to you and like really try to help you, and on your end you take the effort to really try to help yourself and try to get yourself out of it, right? Something good will happen, and both of that must happen at the same time. I know we kind of went off point from the confession, but I just wanted to use this confession as like a springboard for the larger topic at hand, which is being mentally ill in a relationship, which I think is a very tough thing to talk about.
Yeah, just basically one thing to sum up what that situation from the NUSWhispers.
Yes.
You have to admit that as a separate person, your partner is reacting normally as a person with emotions would. So all I can say is be ready to face the consequence of your actions, but you have everyone's sympathy because we understand how difficult it can be. But also do let it, be a serious enough, let's say, learning lesson if it does happen that you break up. That that is not the correct place to seek help from to seek shelter from,
Yes, I agree.
Get professional help, so that because now especially if let's say this goes south, you will find yourself hating yourself for having done that.
Yes,
and hating yourself is a very slippery slope. So instead of letting this self-hate consume you, go and find help to help you understand and cope. So that if this turns out to be a painful lesson, let this be the last time you have to go through this painful lesson.
Yeah, I think now, no matter what comes out of this, I think a good thing to do is to focus on your mental health and your personal well-being, and focus on making sure that, I know this is going to be extremely traumatic, and it's probably going to haunt you a little bit, like what you did, but it's important to take a step back and really work on yourself and work on especially your mental health. And if you do that, eventually there's going to be other relationships, whether or not you believe so. Because I remember there was a period of time in my life where I truly believed I would never get a girlfriend ever again, because I was anxious. So I really understand if you feel like your current girlfriend is the only person.
It's the be all and all, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly. And I really, really get it, because that's what I thought also. I was like telling my therapist, I'm never going to get another girlfriend. But you eventually will. And you'll want to be the best version of you when that time comes. So I would say work on yourself. And no matter what happens, right, just focus on trying to be the best you as you can be. So learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, and really don't be afraid to seek personal help, because if it's serious enough that you contemplated suicide, then it's high time you seek help.
Yes, seek help. That's the most important, really, really. Like, I mean, whether you get a relationship or not, that one is
NUS
up to
got
you.
a counselling center, one.
Yeah.
NUS got counselling contacts, and all universities, all faculty have counselling contacts and therapy contacts.
Yes, I agree. There's no one, right, that can replace a professional when it comes to these sort of things. I truly believe that there is no one, no matter how close you are to that person, no matter how wonderful that person is, right, there is no one that can replace that, because that person is not trained, and that person at the end of the day is still a human being who is your friend, and it's very difficult to detach. It's very, very difficult to detach, and only a therapist can do that. So really seek help if you really need to, and if your partner is there alongside with you, that's the best. But even if without it, you have other friends, and your therapist will definitely help you through that fight as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and with that, we're going to end today's episode. It's a rather short episode, but we are both tired.
Oh my god. I see our timestamp. Wow, we quite on point at this today.
Yes,
normally we will ramble until God knows what time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But we are actually thinking of doing a live stream where you guys can see the talks we always have. Always talk about having a few like discussions before the show itself. You guys can finally see that, and even after, maybe you guys can see that as well. So we are thinking of doing that. If you guys want to, leave it in the comments down below.
Yeah, and like, thank you so much for following us. In case you don't remember, but we mentioned in a few episodes, just to remind you that we'll be taking a break once the year ends, and then we'll move into season 2. Very exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
With more features and wonderful stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And since got extra time, please go and search The Smart Gamer on YouTube. That's a channel that I started with TSL. Please go and follow.
They recently upload a video.
Go and like, go and share, go and ring a notification bell. Free. Go and do it.
After you ring ours. But yes, with that, 15 seconds left. See you guys next week. Stay safe and enjoy yourself, guys. Bye.
Annyeong.